Hello everyone, and welcome. Today, we are going to talk about Persona 5. So Persona 5, fantastic JRPG, tons of people went crazy. Now in the year it came out, I was playing Nier Automata, and while I did pre-order the special Take Your Heart edition, I didn't get around to playing it because I was doing other long, lengthy RPG type games. So the next year I ended up playing Persona 3 and Persona 5. Don't mind me if I get numbers mixed up. It started in April and we finished up in about early October, and after putting in over 200 hours for my playthrough, I have to say that considering how many big games, long series have spent time dumbing down their games more and such, I have to say I'm impressed that Persona 5 still offers a reasonable challenge of fun, enjoyable experiences while improving ideas on the formula that Persona 3 brought in, while also bringing elements from the main series that have vanished since Persona 3. While Persona 1 and 2 and other two had many mainline entry elements, Persona 3 changed a lot of that and took out some, such as negotiating and the functionalities of guns under normal circumstances, not like characters like Northa, who actually have a gun, but it's not an optional weapon. It is literally the only melee weapon. If you can catch my drift. Guns were torn as an optional weapon that all characters can use. Each character has different guns that actually have different effects, like one character has a shotgun that can cause more damage but shoots less, while another character has a machine gun that can rapidly shoot at different random enemies instead of being able to choose. So those kind of elements, on top of gun being its own element. Two additional new elements added, nuclear and psychic, which brings more to the table since Persona 4 took out elements, because in Persona 3 every single melee weapon was a completely different type of damage. It was either there were multiple types, or they were each, I think they were each, it's been a while, but I know there was more than just attack weakness, basically, which is what Persona 4 did, and Persona 5 does continue to have that as well, where there's just the melee weakness as self, but bringing guns and two more elementals into it adds some more weaknesses and variety. There is some simplifying some of the game elements in Persona 5. They did, I wouldn't say dumb down, because I mean simplifying doesn't always mean they made it for stupid people. I know that's usually what most people think of when they say they simplified something, but what's the word I'm thinking of, like mainstream it or streamline it. That's what I'm thinking. It can also be a positive thing, meaning they made something that was kind of complicated or over cumbersome more simple. And I would use that to describe some of the changes Persona 5 did overall, that it made a lot more streamlined, quicker. It didn't make it stupid or easy, or you'll still find a good challenge in Persona 5. Now, Persona still isn't as hard as the mainline series, especially the older mainline games. For its difficulty, I would probably place it between 3 and 4. I wouldn't say it was as easy as the final boss in 4, and keep in mind I'm referring to the PS2 version of 4. While I do own Golden, I haven't done a playthrough of Golden, so I can't really comment on the additional dungeon / boss that's in Golden. But moving on. I would place in the middle. Not as hard as Final Bosses 3, but not as easy as the Final Boss in 4, so I think it did a little better on its final finale than the original Persona 4 did, but it still has a great cast of characters, and to be honest, out of all the Persona games I've played so far, I love the cast the most. Like, I mean, there are characters I like in the other ones, but I mean, like, I like everyone. Like, there's certain characters I can nitpick, like, I don't like that, like, I mean, I don't hate them, but I mean, they're not, like, my favorite in this thing, or the voice actor, or something. Like, I really, generally, like everyone in Persona 5. They're a fantastic character, and as much as I screamed that I'm gonna throw Morgana out the window for telling me to go the fuck sleep, Morgana is a good character too, so I liked it. I actually liked that Morgana wasn't as annoying as Teddy. I mean, it seems like everyone just generally really finds Teddy always annoying. It's like, why couldn't Teddy just be a quiet little dog like Persona 3? But I don't think Morgana was as annoying as Teddy, as a lot of people like to always point out about Teddy in Persona 4. There ain't a lot of flaws I can really talk about with Persona 5, in my opinion. One of the little, like, pretty much I have to get to nitpicking, and one of the little nitpicks I really have with the game was how you maneuver and hide around things, while in Persona 3 and 4 you just ran around and slashed at things to try and get Force Strike. In Persona 5, with the thief theme that goes with, you can hide around objects and things and get ambushes really easy. Like, it is super easy to get ambushes compared to 3, where depending on your weapon it could be incredibly difficult. And Persona 4 was a little in the middle. It wasn't as hard as 3 could be with some of its weapons. But the thing is, though, I would have preferred when you hide, you hit the O button would be the only way to get out of hiding. Sometimes when you're moving the camera and looking around for spots to dash to continue hiding at that, sometimes it will cause your character to roll out of hiding and mess you up. And I'm not really sure why they did that. That is a bit annoying, but it is in the game, and that's honestly just nitpicking. Like I said, just very nitpicking, small flaw. But I don't really have any big problems. This is a very good modern JRPG, honestly. It doesn't really disappoint me at all. They built more on the social link aspect too. Well, in Golden they did a few ideas. I don't know them all. Like, I know, like, Weisei gets a few things she can do now in Golden, and there were like team attack things in Golden. They took some ideas from Golden and carried those over. There's a few ways to get extra friendship points at Shrine, or later on by doing a fortune telling. You can get bonuses from other fortune tells. You can get like better item drops, gold and stuff too. All social links provide some kind of benefit as you build up your social link. Your party members get better skills and abilities to help out the party. Your navigator will have more abilities, can just take all the damage for one fatal shot. Like, if someone's gonna fatal shot, there's a chance your navigator, if you get to a certain point in the social link, could just completely consume that damage and save your party that attack. Like, and then non-party member social links offer benefits. There's one that helps with negotiations that have came back in 5, as I said, making them easier or making it quicker to get them to come around your way of either items, gold, or joining you. There's just all kinds of different things that get affected, and essentially maxing out all the social links make the game easier. So at the same time, they also function as a way that you can keep the game harder or easier. Now, I maxed out all the social links through my playthrough, and I definitely have to say, with all the abilities you get from all of them, it definitely is easy. Like, I couldn't imagine doing the 7th target without the ability to switch in and out party members, which is what the Star Arcana social gives you later down its line. And it's because I literally used all my party members in that and the final fight. So, but they're, like I said, they're all little streamlines through the no. Like, this is honestly probably the easiest negotiating system I've ever played out of any of the games, including the mainline games. And like, it definitely is the easiest in that aspect. But it is a really good game. Now, for the story essentially has a theme of your outcasts, like your people who have been wronged by society, corrupt people who are high in power in society, and they're doing wrong, and they either know they're doing wrong or they don't care they're doing wrong. And you get this opportunity to change one of the teachers at your new school after you had helped someone and got wronged by society. You get this opportunity to change a teacher who is wronging your fellow students, and you form a bond with some of your other students and start the Phantom Thieves and start targeting corrupt individuals who are wronging people in society. And the plot really goes in a lot of crazy places, just like most Persona storylines, or just any of the storylines, the main entries go. But it's pretty good. I really liked the story. I liked the villains. And the music. How do you outdo yourself? It's like, admittedly, I like Persona 3's final boss music way more than Persona 4's, but Persona 4 had a lot of good music too, and like there was just I love Blooming Villain, good song. Honestly, you know, I didn't like the final boss theme as much as Blooming Villain, but I like a lot of the music. There's good upbeat music, action music. I love when the characters awaken to the personas. Always the Persona awakenings are awesome, and they're really good. Getting cutscenes in that in Persona 5. It's very, very good. But overall, how much is Persona 5 really worth? Well, if you want the limited edition, which I would imagine probably costs quite a bit, as most limited editions will usually end up, you know, the actual limited, not the overproduced Western games that start dropping in price. But for the game itself, this is hands down worth your $60. Honestly, it is. And I just love how I don't think there's ever even been an update for Persona 4. It's those kind of quality standards that really make me feel like they put so much work in it. And you gotta keep in mind, Persona 4 was developed for the PS3, so it's had a long development too. Catherine was created to test a new engine in that, and it was basically to test what they could do for Persona 5. So sometime, or you could even argue during Catherine, because you know they could be working on the characters and the plot and stuff. So even probably during Catherine's creation, they were probably working on Persona 5. Maybe even possibly before. Maybe they had all kinds of other stuff made and just wanted to try out some kind of new engine of that. But it has a lot of heart in it. The voice acting, like, honestly, I don't know what to say besides praise here. It's a really good game. If you're a Persona fan of 1 and 2, the newer Persona, I can't imagine you being disappointed. Now, if you're an older Persona fan, I would think you'll be a little happier with some of the newer, the older elements returning, like the negotiating and the gun system and that. But I know the older fans are more in the mainline series, so I can't really. I'm sure there's going to be a middle line where some enjoy it more and some still disdain it, but I think it's definitely worth checking out. And considering you can get it at this time about $29.99 averagely these days, is just highway wobbly, honestly. And it's on the PS3 and PS4. Either version don't really matter much. I wouldn't say there's much of a graphic fidelity difference between the two. There could be a very minor, but probably not really much. Again, like I said, it was developed for the PS3, and the PS4 version basically existed because the game was coming out in the middle of the two systems' lifespans. At that time, the PS3 was still had a little, just a, the last gen was just kind of croaking a little. Croaking with the last few games coming out of it, so it's definitely worth your time, in my opinion. If you into JRPGs, I think it's worth your time in-depthly, especially if you like the Persona 1, especially if you like the Persona 3 or 4, or you like the storytelling of any of Atlus's in-house games. Honestly, it's just really good. It's not much more to say. Go buy it for any price. I mean, it's worth anything. It's worth full price, and you can get it way cheaper than full price now. So just go buy it if you're into JRPGs. Just do yourself. The only negative I could really see is if you don't like super long. Now, keep in mind, like I said, I did all the social links. I maxed them all out in one playthrough. It was the first time I ever did that in any of the Persona games. So I spent a lot of time getting that done in my playthrough and that. So, but it was very satisfying to have that in my end results, and almost got like everything done except for hitting like a home run and like one of the real world mini games to increase your stats and such. But yeah, bye. So at this point, I'll talk a little about the spoilers. So if you don't want to hear about spoilers, yeah, stop. So for those who want to hear what I thought about the end game and that, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, engage. So there's almost like always like a godlike being doing something in one of Atlus's games. Essentially, it's almost just a freaking meme with little games. But yep, same thing. Some god of something is manipulating a person that's manipulating people and that, and this time it's the god of creation, and they manipulate the people, the masses. There's a very theme of masses here. So you get to the point where you find out that there's a political person controlling a lot of things and knocking people out and such, because he has a pawn that's able to also enter the cognition world like your party can. And people he wants killed, go kill him then, shit. And, like, the 7th target, the politician, was my favorite boss fight in the whole game, honestly. Like, better than the final boss fight. I liked the whole build-up of each form and the story, and just how he just wanted to not give up his own side against you. Like, it was really a great fight to me in that. The twist that Igor was actually not actually present for the majority of the story, and was actually the god of creation manipulating you for a game to dictate whether the world should be recreated or not. Kind of interesting, because it did honestly come kind of out of nowhere, but it's kind of interesting because that's the kind of thing you expect in the mainline games. Like in the main games, the second game is about like the Messiah, and in the third game, the world literally experiences the end of the world, and dictating on how the main character goes through the story, they could end up recreating the world in different multitude of paths, or actually revert the world back to before the villain guy screwed up and destroyed the world, or that. So, I mean, that kind of thing really kind of goes with the main storylines, because the old Persona games dealt in that a little too, but in the newer ones, 3 and 4 and that, they didn't really dwell into the reincarnation of the world. Now, 3 obviously was a very heavy theme on the end of the world, though. It just didn't actually happen. You just prevented the end of the world. But, yeah, that does kind of come out of nowhere. But, yeah, the Igor, you free Igor, and the god basically challenges you and fuses mementos with the real world, the masses' cognition with the actual masses, and yeah, you just go kick his ass. Now, his fight was actually, it was more interesting in Persona 4's final fight, but it definitely wasn't, I wouldn't say it was as hard as the politician, though. But it was interesting how it was themed after the 7 deadly themes, which is the seven deadly sins that the main villains have also been themed after. So that was actually kind of interesting in that aspect. But overall, I'd say he was kind of an average final Japanese RPG boss. Wasn't super hard, but he wasn't like super easy. It was just kind of in the middle there, where it was just enough a challenge that if you lazily just went through it, you'd get screwed at that. But it was still interesting, engaging enough, because it introduced different elements to it. But probably the only other minor complaint I could maybe give the game is I kind of wanted a little more out of the final cutscene. Like, I thought it was nice that it gave you a few extra daily life days, and you experienced Valentine's Day after the game and that. But I felt like the absolute end, you know, where the main character leaves and they drive off, I felt like that whole part was just really short, but it was a really satisfying game in the end. So I look forward to Persona Q2 to see what new things might be brought in with the Persona 5 cast, and hopefully it won't be the last we see the Persona 5 cast. The Persona 4 cast has gotten several spin-offs, and Persona 3's cast has appeared as extra characters and different entries showing off their evolution over time. So hopefully in the future we will continue to see all the characters show up in newer entries in some way. It was also nice to see a few references in how certain characters like Namatame and that, if you watch the TV in Persona 5, you can catch up on some minor characters like Namatame still going into politics and such. So it does a little of everything. So, but again, and then I'm happy. I think it was a fantastic game. For the great Game of the Year award for the year it came out, I still probably would go with Nier Automata just because it did a lot of crazy new stuff. Well, I mean, not to say Persona 5 is bad or unoriginal, but I just like some of the meta shit that Yoko Taro does. That he always seems to outdo his last meta-ness. So, but those are my thoughts. If you feel like you learned anything in this particular video, please leave me a like to let me know. And if you feel like you didn't really learn anything interesting in this video, please leave a dislike to show that this was an original video. Anyway, I gotta get back to my backlog.
Exactly.
It's a sea of plastic, you know. But hopefully you all have a good holiday, and I'll see you all next year. Da, 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 da.
どうだった？私の作った朝ごはん。感想だよ。感想。そうか。